We have all heard the stories, tales of brave knights clad in shining armor, defending the weak and battling for glory. They are figures of legend, their deeds echoing through the ages, captivating our imaginations with their courage and their code. This is the allure of chivalry, a concept that, despite being rooted in the medieval world, continues to resonate deeply within us. But what exactly chivalry? Was it a rigid code of conduct, a romantic ideal, a tool of social control, or simply a thin veneer of polish on a brutal age? The answer, as with most things in history, is complex and multifaceted. Chivalry, as we understand it, emerged in the chaos of the early Middle Ages. With the Roman Empire gone, Europe fractured into a patchwork of warring kingdoms. In this turbulent world, the warrior class, later known as knights, rose to prominence. Their martial prowess was paramount, but gradually, something more began to emerge. This nascent code of conduct, influenced by the church and the burgeoning courtly culture, sought to elevate the knight from a mere warrior to an ideal. It was a gradual process evolving over centuries, but its core tenets were clear: courage in battle, loyalty to one's lord, and a sense of honor that extended even to enemies. The clash of lance on shield, the thunder of hooves on the list, the roar of the crowd, the joust was more than just a spectacle. It was a public stage upon which knights could display their martial skill and embody the chivalric ideal. It was a proving ground for young men eager to make their mark, and a platform for seasoned warriors to reaffirm their dominance. Victory in the joust brought not only glory, but also tangible rewards, recognition from one's peers, the favor of a lady, perhaps even the spoils of war taken from a defeated opponent. But beyond the material gains, the joust served as a powerful symbol of chivalric virtue. It was a ritualized form of combat governed by strict rules and etiquette, where courage, skill, and sportsmanship were paramount. The chivalric code, with its emphasis on honor, courtesy, and courtly love, offered a powerful ideal. Knights were expected to be exemplars of virtue, defending the weak, upholding justice, and treating women with respect. But the reality, as is often the case, was far more complex and often contradicted these lofty aspirations. Knights were, after all, warriors in a brutal age. They were products of their time, bound by the social and political realities of medieval society. While some genuinely strove to live up to the chivalric ideal, others used it to mask their ambition, greed, and cruelty. The historical record is replete with examples of knights who were anything but chivalrous, engaging in treachery, brutality, and wanton violence. The seeds of chivalry's decline were sown in the very heart of its success. As the medieval world transitioned into the late Middle Ages, the nature of warfare itself began to change. The rise of powerful, centralized monarchies, the development of new military technologies, and the growing influence of mercenary armies all contributed to a shift away from the knightly ideal. Battles were no longer decided by individual acts of prowess, but by disciplined formations of infantry, armed with pikes and longbows. The once feared charge of a mounted knight became increasingly ineffective against these new tactics, and the knight's role on the battlefield began to diminish. Gunpowder and roses, the fall of chivalry. The invention of gunpowder and the subsequent development of firearms dealt a decisive blow to the chivalric age. The knight's heavy armor, once a symbol of invincibility, became a liability on the battlefields of the Renaissance. A well-aimed musket ball could pierce even the thickest plate, rendering the knight vulnerable. The rise of gunpowder not only changed the face of warfare, but also heralded a new era in European history. The medieval world, with its feudal system and chivalric ideals, was fading into the past, replaced by the burgeoning nation-states of the Renaissance. In this new world, dominated by muskets and cannons, there was little room for the knight-errant and his code of chivalry. Beyond the battlefield, chivalry's legacy in the modern world. Though the age of chivalry has long since passed, its legacy continues to resonate in our collective consciousness. The ideals of courage, honor, and courtesy, though often romanticized and idealized, still hold a certain appeal. We see echoes of chivalry in our literature, our films, and even in our everyday interactions. The concept of chivalry has evolved over the centuries, shedding its medieval trappings and adapting to changing social norms. While we no longer expect men to prove their worth in jousting tournaments or rescue damsels in distress, The core values of chivalry, respect, integrity, and a willingness to stand up for what is right remain as relevant as ever. A timeless ideal. Chivalry in the 21st century. In a world often characterized by cynicism, self-interest, and a lack of empathy, the ideals of chivalry can serve as a powerful antidote. We may not have knights in shining armor, but we can all strive to be a little more chivalrous in our own lives. Whether it's holding the door open for a stranger, standing up to a bully, or simply treating others with kindness and respect, there are countless ways to embody the spirit of chivalry in the 21st century. It's about recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every individual and acting accordingly. Conclusion: the enduring spirit of chivalry. Chivalry in its purest form represents the best of humanity, our capacity for courage, compassion, and selflessness. While the medieval world that gave birth to this ideal is long gone, the spirit of chivalry lives on. It reminds us that true strength lies not in brute force, but in our character and our willingness to stand up for what we believe in. And that is a legacy worth preserving.